Welcome back to Jesters of Ravenloft, where a group of comedians tried to escape the horrors of the mists. The troupe and the werefolk set off towards the Rootless Evergreen. Tyler found a misty path that led them along a more covert route to the underside of the tree. Shadow Nemesis looked for loopholes to get the Dr. Deputy released from his oath to Tyler, and Dell stole Shadow Nemesis' bag of holding so he couldn't use the doll's needle to steal one of their bodies. Having climbed up through the base of the tree, New Rogue was the first to emerge topside, only to be confronted by 2 dead werefolk and 3 figures standing over them looking reminiscent of Tyler. Is What Change prepared to face off with the armies of Streamlabbing Tyler? I doubt it.
Good luck. The sketch troupe, Wet Change, and their stage manager, Dell, were performing at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival when they were sucked into the horror realm of Ravenloft. They discovered they'd been summoned accidentally by the god of the mists, Ezra, who was able to talk to Tyler through a crown of leaves. They had to go on adventures. They collected magical items, and they trained in D&D classes, being gifted and cursed along the way, knowing that they had to defeat the Dark Lord of that realm so one of them could replace him. During that time, Tyler grew horns. He's got green skin now. He has a massive beard and flowing black hair and a pinky he can remove to do magic with. He also trained as a blade singer. That's a wizard that can kick your ass if you don't hit them, because if you do, they fall down very, very hard. Dell. She now is a visual bard. D&D's first, according to the terrible person who trained her, but that guy was kind of an idiot. She can also talk to ghosts, summoning powers and stories from them, and affecting reality around her with a blade that lets her carve into the air. Then there's Guy Bradford. Just kidding, he died. He has no memories, but his body is still alive as a new character named New Rogue, and he trained fully as a cleric of the god of the mists, Ezra, determined to protect his friends and do the right thing. Sadly, the cost of bringing him back, on top of having no memories whatsoever of his past, is he has ghostly spectral limbs. His arms, from the elbows to the hands and from the knees to the feet, are spooky ghost limbs that start immediately killing anything that he touches, which he constantly forgets about. Then there's Adam, who became Shadow Nemesis. He's possessed by a symbiote. He's got his own venom thing going on where he can feed himself by wasting people's time or eating brains. And he, despite the fact that he wastes a lot of people's time, certainly does eat a lot of brains. He also trained as a barbarian, channeling the endless rage of himself inside this dark realm where he became a villain. He has betrayed people. He has murdered and eaten people. He has convinced people that he didn't murder their parents so he could raise them for his own gain. And he ultimately became the chosen one and hero of this first realm before killing the Dark Lord, replacing the Dark Lord, and discovering that in each domain, it's a personally nightmarish, hellish trap for the Dark Lord, preying on their emotional weaknesses. So thinking it was his big moment of triumph, he regretted it immediately. Everything went bad and he wanted to leave. And luckily they could, because the quest given to this troupe by Ezra is for each of them to travel to a domain and become a Dark Lord themselves. So they moved through the mists alongside 2 companions who have joined them on their quest. Rumple Foreskin, a bone horse who was originally a fully sentient being traveling with the other bone horses of Baleen somewhere in Ravenloft until they were sucked into the mists themselves and forced to serve and pretend to not be able to talk as the mount for an evil knight who was defeated by our heroes. And then Rumple Foreskin befriended the party and wants to find their family, wherever that may be, anywhere in these mists. So they have joined the party. And Shadow Nemesis was joined by the Dr. Deputy, one of the squires of the Black Knight, the only one still loyal to Adam as the Black Knight, joining him, a tiny Ewok-like murderer who wants to kill everyone different than them, who the party seems to, I don't know, have fun with, and also constantly get in trouble because it's a murderer who wants to kill everyone different than them. But they've ended up in this new realm where along the way they switched bodies. Everyone got their body back except the Dr. Deputy, whose body was murdered by Adam. So the Dr. Deputy is now in a doll and can switch bodies with people if they get poked with a needle. That became a whole thing with a robot body. Our heroes met Acer Sanguine, a spooky, demonic lord who rules from a castle in the sky, who was offended to hear that Wet Change was here, and especially that the chosen one, New Rogue, Guy Bradford, just a mild-mannered cleric who said he definitely wasn't the chosen one, and we all know that's how every legend starts. Acer was having none of that, so he summoned evil doppelgangers of each of our heroes and scattered them throughout this domain to guarantee that the name Wet Change is cursed. They will not be heroes. They will find nothing but sadness. Escaping a flaming forest, our heroes were taken in by Denton Arthur, an elderly artificer who is, I guess, by default, the mayor of Protection Town, because there's no one else left, but he has created an army of robots that maintain the town and try to protect the people that sadly he lost, but now trying to keep the realm going. Traveling onwards, our heroes learned that there were multiple locations where doppelgangers were striking, so they made their way through the nameless graveyard and ended up at the Barren Hills. Along the way, they constantly fought amongst themselves, also celebrated Thanksgiving, defeated gargoyles, fought against themselves again, accidentally blew up themselves, told the next group of werefolk inside the Barren Hills that Adam was a murderer, and Adam got a truth bracelet, at which point Shadow Nemesis fled into Adam's mind, putting Adam back in charge, and that's when shit got wacky for a bit. After it was wacky for a bit. In the end, our heroes befriended the werefolk. Adam and Shadow Nemesis at this point almost merged and then were separated by pure chance. And now Shadow Nemesis is back in charge and no longer afraid of the bracelet that is forcing him to tell the truth. The Dr. Deputy tried to steal Adam's body, but then ended up back in the doll. And he has had to swear an oath to Tyler that he will only fight whoever he is told to fight. Shadow Nemesis is determined there's got to be a way around it, though. Dell and Rumple Foreskin have been having conversations as they make their move towards this giant tree that they are entering to try to free the werefolk, that perhaps Shadow Nemesis is a problem that needs to be dealt with. And they have heard that if he is bitten by a were creature and becomes a were creature, his evil personality in the symbiote will be trapped inside the were form, which means he shifts from Spider-Man to the Incredible Hulk in terms of overall Adam language that he understands. New Rogue has been struggling. He received a new goat from the Mists. He has a goat named Jack Magnum, a mist goat that he can protect and touch with the spectral limbs without harming it. So it's become a new central member of this party. During their time in this realm, they also met a succubus who wanted to have children. So she has successfully made trades with 3 members of the party at this point to have demonic children with them. They are now trying to overtake a giant tree, a 10-story tall tree with roots that extend a mile in radius, meaning 2 miles across, and the entire thing floating off the ground. They are climbing into this place to unseat Streamlabbing Tyler, the evil doppelganger of Tyler, and get the werefolk back into their village among the roots of this flying tree. Because Acer Sanguine and the rest of the realm is coming for them. All of their doppelgangers, due to the strange time dilation effects of Ravenloft, where they were busy pooping their pants and arguing with each other, have overthrown the rest of the realm and are marching on this tree. So it is a desperate time. Making their stealthy assault, the Mist provided them a way to get up and into the central trunk of the tree without having to fight their way through the traps. But Dell had stolen the bag of holding from Shadow Nemesis because it had the needle in it that Shadow Nemesis was going to try to free the Dr. Deputy in. Shadow Nemesis does not know this. He failed a spooky success, fearful failure, so he has no clue who has it. He thinks he dropped it outside, but he won't stop yelling about it, which meant their entire stealthy assault has clearly been betrayed. New Rogue was the first one to enter into the trunk, finishing his climb through the tunnels revealed by the Mist, and he found 2 dead werefolk and is currently being charged by 3, I gotta confirm, 3 Hecklins, 6 armed evil versions of Tyler, where they have beards but no hair, along with their horns, and they have mouths full of fangs and are attacking. That's where we left our party. That's what's been going on. Did I miss anything pertinent?
Oh boy.
No, I don't think so.
I think you nailed everything.
Great cover.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And we got that done. All right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yep. No.
It's time for us to return to Ravenloft. After the various yelling and thaumaturgical whispering and thaumaturgical yelling and then more yelling inside the tunnels, New Rogue, you were the 3rd person to emerge from the tunnels into this central hallway in the trunk of the Rootless Evergreen. And that's where you found 2 dead werefolk, their bodies already returned. You see them merge from their hybrid forms back to their mortal forms, back to their animal forms, and then you just see 2 dead animals on the ground. But you are being charged by 3 Hecklins. You can hear them saying hecklin, hecklin, hecklin as they attack. They're charging forwards, green-skinned, 6-armed, carrying 6 daggers, sprinting at you. Can you roll me initiative?
Jesus, this is chaos fuel. What's happening?
Coming from Adam.
Tyler and Adam, can you both roll me initiative with disadvantage?
Ooh.
I have an 11.
Okay.
With disadvantage, I have a 10.
Oh, disadvantage. Hold on. What? 9.
3
Okay.
boys going in a row. You okay, buddy? You gotta breathe. You gotta breathe, guys. Breathe.
It's happening.
I don't know. I like it.
But they're green skinned, so they look like me, but it's me bald with a beard saying hecklin, hecklin, hecklin. Is that right?
I think that's
yes, to paint the picture, you are seeing yourself. Not you, but New Rogue is seeing what looks like Tyler, only an older, wizened Tyler. There is a little bit of Tyler Hecklin energy to this Tyler Hewitt-ish form. It has your beard, it has your height and green skin, totally bald though. And it has, each of them have 6 arms carrying daggers.
Excellent.
And despite the fact that they were rolling initiative with advantage, I rolled 4 7s in a row and then 2 4s on a d20. So fate is smiling upon all of you. New Rogue,
Man.
these
Thanks,
hecklins are
miss.
charging towards you, but you get to act first. What do you do?
Okay. So this is like a corridor?
Yes,
now?
this is a corridor. It's got a smooth floor. You can see that this has been carved out of wood. It's been polished to the point where it feels like stone. It is a smooth ramp. It is a curving hallway, a gently curving, gently ramped upwards. The Hecklins are ahead of you. They are slightly up from where these gaps in the walls are appearing out of the tunnels. They're about 30 feet away right now. They have 2 dead animal forms in front of them. One of them you recognize from all of those names you heard is Chat Chattington, who was told to take the lead in the werewolf army. Definitely dead.
Oh,
Rip.
okay. That stinks. But there's no more werewolf beyond them that I can see.
Those seem to be the first 2 to have come through. You were leading the charge as the chosen one, so you are now the spearhead of the first wave because the first spearhead has been thoroughly blunted.
All right. I'm like, what to do? Don't want to cast a spell right now. Might not have enough time. And then I find that my hand is just like reaching to my little satchel. I'm like, almost instinctively, and I pull out the fairy fire wand of gusting. And I'm like,
Yes!
unleash the storm.
I like that you think you know what it does.
Yes, this is
I love it.
It's perfect.
Can you roll me a D100, which is rolling a D10 and the D10 with the 10 numbers on it?
A
So what's the
D100.
first D10? Yep.
Okay, well, the D100 is a 10.
Okay. And then
And-
roll another D10.
Another D10. Okay, give me a second. I always lose it. I always lose my D10. There it is. Okay,
Ready.
cool. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a 0.
So what's that?
So you
It's
roll
a 10.
That's 10.
You
Sorry,
roll a 10, which means you cast fairy fire out of the wand. One of the things you expected.
Incredible.
Hey.
You cast the spell in
Incredible.
a 20-foot cube within range. Is it blue, green, or violet light? It is your choice, New Rogue.
I mean, the only one I haven't really done right now is violet. So you know what? Success. This color me violet, baby. Violet cube.
Okay. I have to see how these do. It's a fail. It's a fail.
What?
That's a 6 and 2 5s. They all fail their deck saves and are now, all 3 are glowing with violet light. So that happens. You see them glowing brilliantly as they charge towards you, which means any attack roll against them, if it is by someone who can see them, has advantage. So everyone will have advantage and then attack these creatures, which is good because Tyler, do you want to move, New Rogue? You could move 30 feet away. They're 30 feet away coming towards you. Do you want to stay where you are? Because you do have that option of moving.
No, I'm going to take point.
Great. And as you hold this wand out, do you have a particular wand style? Are you the weird twisty overhand like Voldemort? Is it just a straight Harry Potter? Are you aiming it like a gun with two hands raised, firing it? What does it look like with you extending this wand, blasting things with fairy fire?
I'm just like pinching it with like my thumb and my index finger with my arm raised up, elbow basically at my head. I'm basically it's like a gun. It's like a little...
Yes, it's a little bit of a gun meets the back arm of a bow, only you don't have a bow or your other hand doing
holding it up here at all times.
Yeah. And one of my eyes, I'm using it to focus while the other one's closed. Like, yeah, I got
and
you.
it works. Tyler, you climb out of your tunnel and see 3 violet, glowing, evil, bald versions of yourself with 6 arms charging towards New Rogue. You are entering the hallway around the same point as New Rogues. They're about 30 feet from you. The hallway is slanting up and curving to the left in front of you where they are, and it is slanting down and curving to the right if you turned around away from you.
I see New Rogue being attacked by these 3 glowing, bald clones of me. They're saying the name of my teacher / abuser. So it immediately sends me to my trauma place and I go into a blade song stance. And I just grab my sword and I run in and I try to attack.
Great. So you've got 30 feet to get to them, but you can make that pretty instantaneously.
Yeah. And I think I actually get 10 more feet of movement when I'm blade singing. So that's easily covered there. But I have a cantrip that I have had since I became a wizard, a blade singer, and just never got the opportunity to use because it requires multiple opponents to be adjacent to each other.
Okay.
I'm going to use a cantrip called Green Flame Blade. And what it allows me to do, as part of casting this spell, I must make a melee attack with a weapon against one creature within range. So nothing will happen if I miss, but let's see what happens.
And what I will flag for you is, as this is occurring, the mist swirls up around you and something appears on your waist. You receive a new item. You instinctively know what this is, Tyler.
Okay.
This has the powers of what would be considered a wand of a war mage, which means when you use it, it will give you +1 to your melee or ranged spell attacks. If you are rolling to hit, it gives you +1 on those. But with you being a blade singer, I'm not imagining it would be the traditional wand. It may be accoutrement. It may be brass knuckles. It could be anything. What does it look like for you based on your trauma place? What would be the thing that would soup up your attacks that you could use?
This is something that I can use when I'm making melee attacks with my two-handed weapon?
If they are magic attacks.
Magic attacks? Okay.
So it could be with the two-handed weapon, or it could be outside of that as long as magic is involved.
Okay. It is... I don't think this exists in real life, but I'm going to try to paint you a picture here. It is it's a pommel attachment. It is a small orb about the size of my fist, maybe even smaller. And I am able to take it in my hand, and there's a hollow that I can basically affix it to the bottom of my sword, the existing pommel of my sword, and turn it. And it's like, because it's influenced by the way I was taught magic and things like that. It's got a Tyler Hoechlin bent to it. It will be, it looks like brick, like a brick from a building, basically, but it's kind of been like snapped off. And I just affix it. I can just twist it onto the bottom of my sword, and that channels magical power into it. So it looks like just a hunk of brick. Yeah.
Yeah, it replaces your pommel of your sword, which is the fulcrum that you are swinging around. You've learned your combat well. And the other thing I will note for you is, if you are not using your sword to use a ranged or melee spell that involves an attack roll, you can you can basically pop it off, and it's a brick with a rusty nail poking out of it that you can just cast magic with or blast magic out of it. So you receive this brick of the War Mage.
Wow.
That is now attached to your sword. It will give you +1 to this melee attack that you need because this is a spell attack, so it's all there.
+1 to spell melee attacks.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just writing this down.
And ranged for both. It'll do both as long as you are using your brick of the War Mage.
+1 to spell attacks then. Anytime I'm rolling to attack with a spell. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Watchers in the Mist. What a time for that to come in. Gosh, with so much happening, I see it. I know what it is. I say a whispered like, "Thank you, Watchers," and I snap it onto the pommel, and I'm running over there, and I take a swing at the middle Hecklin.
Great. Roll your attack.
I have advantage if it's a melee weapon attack.
The fairy fire.
Oh, because of the fairy fire. Yeah, you will have advantage on this for sure.
Oh gosh. All right. So that's a 5 on the first roll, please. That's better. This is going to be +5 for a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay.
It is. One hit KO. Here
on
we
a
go.
hit, this is green flame blade. So my sword just ignites in green flame as I slash at this person. It does no additional effects or anything like that on this swing. So I'm rolling 2d6 +3 is my regular damage.
Okay.
Nice. That's 11 +3 for, gosh, what, 14?
14 damage. Yeah.
14 damage.
Nice.
And the effect of Green Flame Blade takes place at this point. Green Flame leaps from the target to a different creature of my choice that I can see within 5 feet of it. The second creature takes fire damage equal to my spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay.
So if you want to call that a spell attack, that would add +1. No, because now we're talking about damage.
Do you need to roll to attack, or this automatically jumps?
It's just a fixed number. It's just my spell attack modifier. So without any other stuff, it's 5. It just another guy takes 5 damage. Yeah.
Nice.
So the central Hecklin, you carve deep through his torso with a flaming wound. Whoa. He is still standing, but barely. Whoa. And as your slash hammers through him, the phantom flaming blade soars off of yours and slams into the next Hecklin, carving deep into one arm with a now flaming wound on him as well. That is a hell of a turn. Shadow Nemesis, I'm going to say with your amount of fury, stumble out of your gap, the tunnel in the side of the wall, and end up next to New Rogue. You see violet lit, massive evil Tylers with multiple arms. You see Tyler dash in with a green flaming blade, attacking multiples of them at the same time. You stand ready to join this combat, and that's when you feel the mist swirl up around your waist. And when you look down, you see a pan flute.
Pan flute?
You can almost feel as your hand brushes it. You hear the sound of beautiful pan flute music in your head. And at the same time, the chittering of rats. And you realize you have a flute of rats. And if you play it, you could control rats. And you realize that's amazing because you have a hat of rats that could summon a swarm of rats that could turn the tide of this battle. And then you realize you lost your bag of holding. What do you do?
So I understand as soon as it appears that it's a rat whistle.
It's the flute of rats. Don't whistle the flute of rats.
All right. You flute of rats. I understand this as soon as it appears.
Yeah, absolutely. When you touch it, you just know. You spent so much time reading that rat book.
Now, hold on a minute. This just popped into my head. So we're dealing with werefolk, right?
Yep.
Didn't we mention that some of them were rat people?
Correct. There are were rats.
Well. It appears that I have control over rat people. All right. How many people are there's like people behind me, right?
Correct.
Okay.
There's Elder, Rumple Foreskin, and 98 more werefolk are coming through the tunnels.
98. Okay. Oh, so so they gathered an army of exactly 100 people. Now 98
Yep.
people are there. Okay.
I said 100 last episode, so we're stuck with that number now.
I guess I don't know the percentage of rat people in this 100 people.
I would say, let me just check something.
Solid, like
Oh,
75 rat people. Is
there
that-
are 5 different kinds of wares present. So if we assume a relatively equal number in an egalitarian society, that would mean there are 20 rat folk total in this. Can you roll me a d6?
Oh, okay. That's a 3.
All right, one of them died and is on the floor. You just see a dead rat under some of these hecklins. So there are 19 rat folk in this
19.
army.
Okay, hold on.
Not that you know that exact number, but we're defining it for the world.
But I'm just like being around them. I'm kind of ballparking it. I'm like, I'm gonna say like 1920 rat people, like just kind of like that's
Ballpark it for exactly what.
yeah, like around there, like 1920. Like
Good number.
a
It's like
good
sticking your hand in like a gumball machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's about 19 in
say-
there.
I'm like like a good fifth or rat people. All right, so I know they exist. So I raise the flute to my lips, and I what the hell do I sing? I go like. And then I go, rat people to me, and I want to see if they come to me.
We're going to take a quick commercial break right here. Shadow Nemesis, can you roll me a persuasion?
Oh man,
Actually,
with
first, can
advantage.
can you roll me a constitution?
Danger sense. Do I get?
No,
oh.
that's not a trap. I need to know how hard you can blow into a flute.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, Constitution. All right, okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
plus
how loud
2.
is a flute playing
guess.
over combat?
If anybody knows how to blow, it's old Adam here. Let's see.
But can Shadow Nemesis? That's the
can
real
Shadow.
question.
Total of 19.
Okay, you're blowing pretty good. Can you roll me a persuasion?
Okay.
Danger
Persuasion.
sense.
Danger sense.
It's not.
No.
danger.
Oh,
Don't
Tyler. I did it because Tyler said. I thought you were helping me out. Okay. Plus 3. Yeah. All right. That's a 7.
Yep, you play that flute. Would you like to move? Is there anything else you'd like to do in return? That's going to be your action.
Well, I'm going to wait for the rat people to come to me.
Oh my God,
Okay,
we're
so
gonna
you are
fucking die.
holding position. That's great.
Yeah, I said rat people to me. So I like on our break, I already divvied out what they're all going to do. So like, I'm just waiting for them to come to me.
Super. All right. So we have the battle we
barbarian,
all
ladies and
expected. 3 Hecklins versus Tyler.
Yep.
The first one is going to attack.
All right.
No.
I'm
He's
in.
aflame, but he's taking his swings.
I'm in blade singing stance, so my armor class is 20.
Nice.
Oh, that's good, but that's a nat 20 on the first one.
Oh,
Well, this
no.
this might just kill me then.
The second
'Cause he
attack
rolls
is a
double damage.
13.
Okay.
The third attack is below that. So just the nat 20
Jesus.
for the hit.
Of course,
Which is
Tyler on Tyler
4.
violence would be a nat 20.
That will be 5 piercing damage as one of the daggers stabs past your blade guard. You're whirling around. You were doing your absolute best in full blade singing mode, but you
I'm
were
trying.
battling 3 people with 6 arms. They are moving in to flank you. You're watching pure Hecklin maneuvers here, which is deeply unsettling because you were always fighting and being abused by one elderly man. This is 3 of them in your trauma place, and they all have extra arms. So the second one, because as far as he could tell in the distance, there's just a guy holding a wand up by his head and a man playing the flute. He's also just going to come in swinging at you, Tyler. He's just saying his own name, Hecklin, and lashing out. It's like fighting 3 General Grievuses. He has advantage because of the friends that are with him. That's only a 15. That's only a 14. And that is That is a dirty 20 if you get through. That is the maximum damage of 6 piercing damage.
I am up, but I am in a bad way.
Uh-oh.
Is there anything you say after you are fighting off one of them, and then you're battling the second who's also getting through? You've been stabbed twice as the third Hecklin comes in with all 6 arms swinging.
God, I ran up here to help New Rogue, and in this state, this desperation, I think I just say, Guy, and that's all. I just call my friend's name, who it's not his name anymore, but it's just the adrenaline. It's just the desperation. I can't think of saying anything else.
Yep. So you call for a friend who literally is not there as the third Hecklin attacks.
Oh, no.
It's only a 12.
Was he calling for me?
With advantage. With advantage, that's 2 19s, but not getting there.
Oh, that's why we blade dance, baby.
The very last one. That only adds up to a 13. So all 3 Hecklins have expended all of their attacks with advantage against you. You two are watching Tyler give the most epic defense you have ever seen. He is fighting off 18 daggers with a 2-handed weapon with a brick on the bottom that is weeping green flames as it swings through the air. And we come to the next turn. Del, can you roll me initiative?
Yes. It's 10.
10. Okay. Del, what's your initiative modifier? And Tyler, what's yours? Like, what's your
Plus
That's
2.
one.
modifier?
Plus 1.
Okay.
2 for me.
And Tyler. It's good. And then I check for the werefolk. Okay. One of the werefolk pops up, and his initiative is great. He's doing great.
All right. You got to do this like 97 more times. Am I getting this right?
Yep, you're doing great. All right, New Rogue. You have seen this happen. You can see Del starting to crawl out of a massive tunnel hole that appears in the floor with her mystical paints. Tyler is facing down 3 foes, one of them nearly mortally injured, another injured, and one untouched, all of them leaking violet light in all directions. You have your wand of gusting and fairy fire up by your eye. You're sighted in. What do you do?
So I'm not going to use the wand because the chance of my hitting Tyler is too great. I don't want to use weapons because, again, the chance of hitting Tyler is too great. So I'm going to quickly pocket the wand, and I'm just going to rush forward to the nearest creatures with my hands extended. And I'm just basically going to pull them off Tyler and crack their little necks with death touch.
All right. So this is do you see this as you're leaning in to punch them? So is it an unarmed attack, or is this a grapple?
It's more just like a thrust and a grab. It's kind of like it's like my arms are almost like they're magnets and I'm metal, or vice versa. I'm just like going to them.
You're seeking the core. All right, we will call this an unarmed attack to see if you can land. So you've got your unarmed attack stats on your sheet, I believe. Roll me one of those. I will give you advantage. This is a swirling melee, but they've also been so engaged with Tyler that between the two of you, you'd be essentially flanking one of them.
Where is my unarmed?
And they have fairy fire.
And they have fairy fire, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. Would you be attacking? There's the one facing directly off what Tyler is the most injured. Would you have gone for the uninjured one of them, or the one who had been cut in the arm? They're 3 identical figures, so you've got very injured, lightly injured, untouched.
I want to go with the most injured. The two of
the
them
most injured.
Yeah. That's who I'm going for because I feel they'll be brittle.
So you dive past Tyler into the middle of the melee to try to choke the most brittle Hecklet to death.
Do it.
18 blades whirring with the giant one and a full body new rogue leap through the middle.
I'm a hero.
Love the needle, baby.
So my unarmed, my
Chosen
death.
one energy.
So as an action, you can focus your deathly touch and attack your foes with an armed strike. So I add 1d10 necrotic damage, and the damage increases to 2d10 at 5th level. So yeah. Okay, 1d10.
But you got to make that hit, baby.
Okay, here goes. Here.
You have advantage, so you get to roll twice and pick the highest one.
It's a 16.
16 will hit. You fly through the air,
wow.
and your hands find purchase on this Hecklin's neck. Can you roll me, I think, a D10, a D4, and add your strength modifier?
Wow.
D4.
Just strangling him. I love it. Like, you have weapons. You're just like, just lunch. Go
Come
get
here,
arrow.
boy.
Oh, I love it.
So the 4 is a 4. I get to go. Do I get to roll advantage on this too, or is it just the?
No, this is just the damage. This is a single roll.
Okay, so that's I add those together. That's a 5.
So you have the D10 was a 1, and the D4 was a 4. And what's your strength modifier?
My strength is that's a +2. Oh,
There you go. So that's what, 7 damage? I think
that's
6 damage. Something like that?
That's 7 damage.
Describe to me how this Hecklin dies. And the mist swirls up around you and gives you a pop culture reference to help you frame this moment of majestic, tackling, throat-based murder.
Yeah. So this is just the sitting around the couch when I was like 12 with all my buds. It's a GoldenEye 64. Slappers only. My one hand just it's basically as my hand thrusts in, it's almost like to make contact with the neck, it kind of like karate chops in, and that's just enough to do the damage of just like a geyser of blood spraying out and then just covering my vision like I see his death though. And yeah. That's it.
And you do see that. New Rogue, you have dashed forwards. You have killed the central Hecklin. You stand over their body as the Flute of Rats plays the GoldenEye theme accidentally, but we just all hear it in that brief moment. Tyler. Oh, no, Dell. Dell has the higher initiative. So, Dell, you burst onto the scene out of your giant painted tunnel. Mm-hmm. You see this madness before you. Shadow Nemesis is standing next to you playing a flute. Tyler has been stabbed multiple times and is fighting 2 opponents, one of whom is injured, the other of whom is uninjured. They are these evil green multi-armed Tylers. And you see New Rogue tackling a 3rd opponent to the floor, melting his hands through their neck while yelling the GoldenEye theme to himself.
Wow. All right. I'm coming out of the hole in the ground, and I'm assuming Tyler looks injured.
Correct. He looks very injured.
Okay.
I look like
so,
I'm
He's been
almost dead.
stabbed twice.
All right.
Does not take much.
All right. So I'm coming out, and the first thing I say is, Tyler, don't worry, you've got backup. Hang in there, and cast Healing Word as my bonus action on Tyler.
Ooh, thank you.
And I'm casting it at 2nd level, so it is 9 HP back for Tyler.
Wow.
Nice.
And then with my action, I want to grab on my belt and then hunker down and, like I'm rolling a bowling ball, use my Pokeball. And while I'm throwing it, I'm like, protect us. And I rolled a 4 on the Pokeball.
Pretty good. Okay, you rolled a 4. Out of the Pokeball, in a flash of light, is a massive boar who appears, leaping onto the scene, going,
Yes!
Hey.
We'll take a quick commercial break right there.
Oh, I love them.
Del, there are many boars in the world, but this one is yours. What about this boar stands out to you? What is its one defining characteristic?
This boar, the bottom half of it is silvery white, almost like he was stepped in mud, but it's white. So he's gone silver from like the belly down, all of his legs.
Ooh. Your boar's been dipped. What do you tell it to do?
Protect Tyler.
Oh no. Fighting a bunch of Tylers.
Oh yeah.
The boar dashes forward
gotta know.
and leaps into combat. Okay, Tyler,
This
can you
boar's
roll
great.
me a dex save?
Yes. I have something for this, thanks to the Watchers in the Mist. Ring of Evasion. One per
Have
day auto
your Ring of
succeed a dex
Evasion.
save. So let's roll first. Is that how it works? I can roll and then I can use to use it, or should I declare it now before rolling?
I would say roll will allow you to use it. It's a little fudgy, but I like it. It's a good ring. That's not one of the tricks.
So it's a 13 on the die plus what? Plus 4 for dex for 17? I think I'll sit on a 17. I feel good about that.
Great. You do dodge aside and are successful as a 300-pound as a 300-pound boar flings itself through the air, bodily trying to cover you from being attacked. You step aside. The uninjured Hecklin it was trying to block, it doesn't miss, but because you stepped aside, it soars through the air, and instead of blocking you, it body slams fully into the other injured Hecklin.
Oh, yeah.
That is a solid hit, and it will be doing... Okay, it does bonus damage because it was charging.
Nice.
Yes, boar. Yes, boar.
Come on. A boar, with it
Tusk him
between
up.
its massive weight and its tusks, gores deep into the Hecklin, who falls, and the boar lands on top of it and crunches its torso. So this Hecklin is dead with a boar standing on top of it. Yeah. It gives a boorish war cry. Del, can you make the sound the boar makes in victory?
It goes.
Nice.
It certainly does.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Tyler,
Hell
a boar defeated one enemy. New Rogue has defeated the other. You stand facing the last remaining unharmed Hecklin. What do you do?
Unharmed, and almost a max damage swing didn't take him out. I'm trying to think about how I can put this guy down. No, we're just gonna have to swing on him. Yeah, I'm gonna just attack. No green flame blade because it's 1-on-1. So the flame wouldn't have anywhere to go. I'm just gonna attack with I believe still advantage because of the fairy fire.
Still advantage. He's glowing purple.
Okay. 18 and another. Ooh, that's a 13. So 18 plus 5, 23 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Whoa,
Right.
big swing.
2d6.
Come on, glass hammer.
That's 4 plus 3 for 7 damage only.
7 damage. You still deal a solid blow and sever 2 of the arms of this last remaining
Whoa.
Hecklin. So party
Like
damage
that.
is done. Black blood is spraying out of this green torso. Do you do anything else? That was your attack. You still theoretically have movement or bonus actions.
I won't move away because then I think he'll get his thing against me, opportunity of attack. So I will. I'll just raise my sword up defensively, and I'm in my trauma place, and I'm just tunnel visioning, alley vision on this guy.
Great, you do that. Shadow Nemesis, you have been playing your flute with all your might, but no rat folk have yet appeared. What do you do?
Oh, do I get the sense that the whistle didn't work, or that I didn't do it right, or
I would say, how do
me?
you feel about playing the flute right now? Like, how do you think Shadow Nemesis feels, like how Adam feels based on the results you've received?
So if I received a flute that can control rats, and I made the correct conclusion that there are approximately 19 rat people, I would want the rat people. So
Okay.
I waited. How long did I wait? Like
6
seconds.
seconds.
so I'm really impatient.
Yeah, so the amount of time you played the flute for where you riffed like 8 notes, that's about canonically accurate for how much flute you've played so far.
So I played the flute. I waited. No rat people ran up. Did like
Technically,
other?
you played the flute for 6 seconds and no rat people have appeared yet.
Well then, okay. So then, using that logic, I
feel
literally
like-
just finished playing. So I'm going to wait for the rat people to show up.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna hold action, hoping for rat people.
Yeah, and I'm gonna call to Tyler and be like, "Hang in there, help is on the way."
The Hecklin facing off with Tyler attacks him.
Attacks me. Okay.
Good.
Yep. That's, two attacks will miss, but the third will hit.
Okay. I will use silvery barbs on this one. As a
Okay.
reaction. It means that they have to re-roll the d20 and use the lower result.
Yep. Unfortunately, it went from a 22 to a 21, so still
Okay.
hits.
Still hits. I'll give the advantage to new
Someone's
rogue.
going to be here in a second. You may want to give it to.
Okay. I think
You see a hybrid rat form scrabbling out of a hole. You might be here in a moment.
I'll give it to the were rat.
Did one pop out?
Okay, you do take 3 piercing damage as you are stabbed in the arm. It's one of those action movie shoulder arm things that doesn't seem to do too much damage, even though in real life, if you mess up somebody's shoulder, they're like fucked forever. But Ravenloft logic, you can sleep this off.
I'll tear off
You
some
do
clothing
see
and make a bandage on
a
that.
rat scrabble out of one of these tunnels, a rat person, and all of you actually recognize Tater Fry,
Yeah.
who was one of the first werefolk that you met, and he scrabbles out of this hole. He's got 2 knives of his own, and he steps up next to you, Shadow Nemesis, and he just says, "What do you need me to do? I feel weirdly drawn to doing what you want to say."
Oh, all right. Wait, is that everybody? Aren't there more rat people?
There are more people climbing up the tunnels, man. Do you want me to do something? I mean, I'll wait.
He's disappointed by the laugh.
I just thought maybe like 19 rat people would show up, but only one
There's like
so far.
97 more of these werefolk coming up.
Yeah.
And then, listen, I started to get excited. I was already near the front. And then behind me, some of the rat people started trying to climb over some of the other people. So it kind of slowed things down a little bit.
So they're gone their way.
I mean, I hope so.
Okay. Just a quick question. How drawn are you to me? Like you'll just do whatever I say?
I mean, I don't really understand the question. I came here because it felt like I should talk to you instead of helping the guy over there getting stabbed.
Well, that was
But,
the right thing to do. That was the right
Are
thing
you
to
asking
do.
me if I'm like in love with you?
No, I'm not asking that. I just want to see like I'm going to tell you to do something.
Okay.
Are you going to do it? Or do I need to play this
What do you
flute
want me
again?
to do, man? This is getting weird.
Okay, well, I wanted all 19 of you here, but I guess we'll get started until the rest of them show up. So, first of all, I lost a bag. And I really wanted somebody to go look for it. So,
All right, so that conversation happens there, and we go back to the top of initiative order. New Rogue, you
my
have finished
God.
Goldeneye slapping down the one Hecklin in front of you. There is still another one behind you facing off with Tyler. You're seeing more werefolk emerging from the tunnels behind you, but right now there is one menacing one of your companions. What do you do?
I withdraw my warhammer and I wield it with 2 hands. And I skulk behind him, and I'm just gonna throw down over top of his a bald, stupid head.
Great. The mist swirls up and gives you another pop culture reference. Is there something you say or do specifically during this attack?
It's just the childhood rhyme. Pop goes the weasel, bro, and it's that's
All right, roll your attack. You have
pop culture.
advantage.
Yeah.
The bro really convinced me it was pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it sounds like a Michael Bay line.
Sorry. Okay, that was a 8.
With advantage?
You rolled twice?
Yeah, it's an 8.
You say pop goes the weasel, bro, and you swing your hammer and miss altogether. You were so focused on skulking, you forgot to stand up and take a big boy swing. You were crunched over like a little goblin, and you tried to do a bonk, but it's moving around. It's full combat happening. The mist swirls up and gives you another pop culture reference. What do you say, being so disappointed in yourself? What fuels this moment?
Oh God! It would have been great to use the "disappointed" again from Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, but instead it's just it's the Doors. This is the end, my dearest friend. The end. I'm just like tripping out by my my horrible luck there, having not swung and made contact.
Yep, so you are singing gently to yourself in this dark time as Tyler, you face off with this Hecklin. It is 2 arms down, but it is still stabbing. This is a duel for the ages. What do you do?
God, is he wearing armor?
They are wearing simple robes. You're not seeing a whole ton of armor. Your guess is there's something a little off about their skin. The bodies move on naturally. There seems to be a little bit of a sheen to them, but they are not wearing any plate mail. There's nothing that hefty on them.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm going in just for another swing.
Great. You have advantage because of the man singing "This is the end" directly behind your opponent, creepily into their ears.
This is the end, my dearest friend.
8 + 5 for 13.
13 with advantage?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are also missing. This one Hecklin standing alone is channeling all of your power and all the power of your master. This is a terrifying time.
Anything I can
Shadow
do
Nemesis, you are talking. Was there more?
Yeah, as a bonus action. Nope, never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking about the various battles ahead. I can't be burning through this stuff. So yeah, I'll just stand here and take my licks.
Do it and then just take a nap and then it'll come back.
Shadow Nemesis.
Done.
You are talking to Tater Fry, ready to try giving your first order. What do you do? What are you saying? You talk about your bag. Yeah, you want to get that bag? Where'd you leave it?
Oh, I don't even know. I fell out of the cart on the way over here, and so it might be outside. So I don't know. I had a little group set up of what I wanted people to do. So okay. Tell you what. Why don't you? Okay, you go get, I don't know, 3 other rat people, and then bring them to me. 2 of you go help out Tyler there because it looks like he's not doing a great job. And then the other 2. Go just kind of walk around, do a quick quiz with people, and just say, like, have you seen this bag of holding? It looks like, I know. What does my bag look like? It's like
it's a simple bag that goes on your hip. It's a brown leather bag with a drawstring. It doesn't look tremendously magical. It just is.
It's a simple bag, just with a drawstring, just nothing fancy. But if it's like a magic bag, so there's things inside, and there's something in there that is very important for the upcoming battle. Oh, get another person too. Get a 5th one, and have them come to me because I want to kind of. There's other things I want them to do.
Oh, man. Can you roll me a persuasion, Adam?
Okay. Does the flute give me advantage over them?
Oh, God, no.
No? Can I just give like a toot? Give like a toot?
Absolutely. You can give a toot. Changes nothing, but you can give a toot.
All right. Persuasion?
Yep.
That's +3. Okay. All right. Nat 20.
Oh, God.
Interesting fact.
Incredible.
He also rolled a nat 20.
But mine's 3. I have +3.
Ooh. You have +3, but at the same time, your order is tremendously stupid. So you see 3 more rats start crawling out of the holes around you. They're coming in from the tunnels. He looks at you and goes, "Man, I'm not doing that shit, but you can talk to one of the other rats, man. You're weird. You're weird, and I don't like it."
Fine, get out of here. Go help him. Go help Tyler then. Do you agree?
Del.
Yeah.
Hey,
We've been bouncing around in this order. Adam's been doing a minute worth of bits over here. It is your turn, though. What are you doing?
As I see both New Rogue and Tyler clanging away on this guy, I'm gonna run up and duck down and pull out my reality blade. And as I'm running over, I'm gonna draw the end of it to make it a long rapier sword, and then come in for a stab at the side. And I'm hoping to go opposite where the boar is, so that me and the boar like pincer attack on this guy.
Okay, I like that a lot. So you attack. You have advantage.
All right. It is 22.
Oh, there we go.
That definitely hits. Roll your
All
damage.
right.
Nice.
I get to pull out a D8. Here we go. 5 damage altogether from me.
5 damage altogether. You do your 5 damage and stab up. Is this into torso? Is this into leg? Is it into groin? I don't
No,
want
it's
that option.
into torso by way of side under ribs. Just
through
coming
the
in.
obliques, up and
Yeah.
under. Yeah, that's nasty as hell. You successfully do that. And the boar attacks. And successfully. And when we add you and a boar that rolled max damage, the two of you pincer beautifully with your blade stabbing up and under the rib cage. And as you pin the Hecklin in place, the boar leaps forwards and with its tusks digs its entire head in and up the rib cage on the other side until you both just pop out the back.
Oh, God damn.
The body falls to the floor. You look at the boar. The boar looks at you. Do you say anything?
Hell yeah, boar! Good job.
The board starts cavorting around, and the tunnel starts to fill with all of the other werefolk coming in. You can see Merith Glimplimmer, you can see the rest climbing out. There are the number of rat folk that you would have expected.
Sweet.
Shadow Nemesis. But you're surprised to see, though the rat folk start turning towards you, Merith steps towards New Rogue, covered in blood, standing over the fallen foes. And the Hecklin's bodies are already dissolving. They're dissolving into goo that disappears and almost evaporates, turns into a black sludge and then disappears into the sky. And Merith says, all right, chosen one, we're here. We've made it into the trunk. What do we do? What orders do you have to give? New Rogue, you're not used to combat, which is why the mist swirls up around you and gives you 3 pop culture references.
Jeez.
Each pop culture reference gives you 1 order you need to give to your werefolk army in this space. What are the orders you give?
And they all have to be pop culture references. Okay. So it's that fish guy from Star Wars. Okay, team. This could be a trap. So everybody be on your guard and don't do anything stupid.
That's the line. That's the line from Star Wars.
That's exactly right.
I'm channeling my fish person for that one.
Yeah,
And then I'm and then it's just like channeling Krusty when when he has his rerun that's playing during what crisis is the crisis that
His rerun.
No, he has a rerun episode. They don't know any
That's
difference
from,
or
the
whatever.
60s.
No, it's not the 60s. Oh yeah. It's off of It's off of Argentina. What is in South America? Anyways, it's fuck
The
it.
Cuban Missile Crisis?
It's not the Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm going too deep. I'm just gonna do.
I was gonna say we've reached the point where this is what it's like for any listener to understand what it's like to be a ghost, where you know the trivia but no one on the podcast does. You know, they're going like, just this fucking thing.
Fuck it. Okay. It's just then me being like, fuck. Don't you put it? All I think is commanding people. So I'm like, don't you put it in your mouth? Don't you put it in your mouth? It was a Canadian educational advert where puppets teach kids not to put things in their mouth.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling them to be on their guard. And remember, if you find any poison, don't you put it in your mouth? Don't you put it in your mouth? Make sure you're on guard. Make sure you're on guard. I'm just really reinforcing the being on guard, protect yourself bit. And then it's South Park, the movie. I'm like, we must go up there. And it's me as the devil, I guess, pointing upwards. I want want to go. I want to live. And I'm pointing that we have to go higher and higher. So let's go down this tunnel all together now.
And
that works, right?
Marith Glimplimber looks at you and says, understood. And she turns to all the werefolk and says, all right, everyone. He's going up to defeat Streamlabbing Tyler. We need to fight defensively down on the ground. Don't do any biting. We don't know what's inside this goo if we actually kill them. Fight defensively. The longer we last, the better a chance he has against Streamlabbing Tyler up there. So I need you guys to do your work. Screech, stay absolutely focused. Frankenfurter McPoopknees, you better keep those weapons in your hands. I don't want to see you drop those. And gracious Greg Glitter, I know you want to be a hero, but we're not looking for heroes here. The Chosen One needs defensive fighters. You stay on guard. Remember, this could be a trap. And Slippy McGiggleballs, don't you go biting. I know you love biting. And remember what the Chosen One said. Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you put it in your mouth. Go Bayside! And they all yell, go Bayside! And they charge down the ramp away from you. And Marith looks back and says, you can do it, Chosen One. You gotta save us all. And that's when you realize the four of you have been left standing in a hallway. New Rogue, you need to be a hero. Tyler, your friends kind of stood by and just let you get stabbed a bunch. And the only person who protected you was Dell, and she did it absurdly by summoning a pig. And Shadow Nemesis, you see the Dr. Deputy climb out of a tunnel, and you realize the rat folk didn't listen to you because you aren't the Chosen One.
What?
All of you are troubled. All of you feel the weight of this moment set upon you. And all of you realize it's time to climb up the tree and try to defeat Streamlabbing Tyler. And that's the end of this episode.
That's the end of this episode, listener, but next week you could become a watcher and affect the Jesters' adventures by joining our Twitch stream, which happens every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Toronto time. If you join our Twitch chat, you can give the cast magical items, name NPCs, and decide the events that shape Ravenloft. So, catch up on the story, follow Dum Dum Dice on Twitch, and join our weekly stream right away. Jesters of Ravenloft features the voices of players Tyler Hewitt, Del Borovic, Guy Bradford, and Adam McNamara, alongside Dungeon Master Ryan LaPlante. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Jesters of Ravenloft's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC. Our theme song is Dark Mysterious Halloween Night by Sound Gallery by Dimitri Taras, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, whose music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. Now get out of here before the mist gets you too.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Nomad, the Wise Paladin of the Badlands, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.